Good morning, everyone. It is Brenda Sanchez, the co-owner too, but the co-author of the best-selling book, Life's Real Currency, a retired major out of the Air Force. And you are here with us on Military Mondays, and we want to get to know you. So we really like to know where you're watching from this morning. So please let us know what city and state. We love to recognize our veterans, so please also let us know if you've served. Even if you're the spouse or a child of a veteran, I'd love to know that, because in my eyes, you also served. So please put that there in the comments below, along with a 1 if you're watching live, or a 2 if you're watching replay. And today I have the honor of having Angelina I'm going to say it wrong. Pecoraro. I knew I said it like 10 times before we got started. And she's with Mint&Porter. She's a graphic designer and a website developer here in town. Her husband just retired, 4 weeks ago out of the Army. So she is the spouse of a veteran, and I love interviewing and getting their perspective of traveling around and just what it's like to own your own business when you have a spouse that's military. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Angelina and hear a little bit more about her background, their military background, where they've served across the country and or around the world, and all about her business with graphic design.
Hi, well, thank you very much for having me, Brenda. I'm very honored to be on this show. So not only was my husband in, but my dad was Navy as well. So this has been my whole entire So yeah, I definitely, the military community is near and dear to me. Always has been and always will be. And yeah, so like I mentioned, my dad was Navy. We moved around quite a lot. We never, had a chance to live abroad at that time, but most of my life was spent like San Francisco and Pensacola. So when I was little, and then I went to college at University of Central Florida in Orlando, and I met my husband. I never thought that I'd end up with somebody in the military. It's so funny. It's been great though, and I nearly crashed into a Japanese restaurant on our date when he was like, "Oh, I'm deploying," and I was like, "I just met you." But it turned into a really good thing. I had just graduated university, and he had been to Korea, and I taught English in Korea. He said, "Go, check it out." Teaching abroad was on my bucket list, and it's been one of the best experiences. And I've gone back since when he had deployed again. So, yeah. Other than that, I have kind of a story that led me from fine art to web development. But yeah, I love being I did love being a military spouse, and I'm very, very proud of my husband's service. He was in for 14 years and 3 deployments, and
wow.
Yeah, it's a big transition right now, but it's been good.
So. Yeah. So talk about, you said you transitioned. So being a spouse and having to travel all the time, move every 3 to 5 years with the military, what is that like as a military spouse to find a new job or a new career? And how did you come about Mint&Porter and becoming a graphic designer and working for yourself and owning your own business?
No, really good questions. Yeah, so it's definitely a challenge moving around, as any military spouse or dependent knows. I just think it comes down to never giving up and just having tenacity. Just applying. I know I ended up working for an Armed Forces Armed Forces Recreation Center in Honolulu in their marketing department as a graphic designer. I was thrilled to get that position, but I think I applied to 53 positions in 6 months before I got it. So, but Hawaii was an extremely hard job market, especially for someone in art. So I think just having tenacity and just never giving up, just knowing there's going to be an opportunity around the corner. And I'm also a huge proponent of school. I'm always polishing my skills. I have a bachelor's degree, and then I also have formal education in graphic and web design. So I think that's also a huge thing. Yeah, so But about a year and a half ago, I started my business and Mint&Porter Design Co. And that's here in Colorado Springs. And really what got me started is I moved into a small studio at Cottonwood Center of the Arts. And I thought, okay, I should probably, now that I'm paying rent, I should probably I should probably be serious about this and start a business. So I formed an LLC and I did all that was needed to do for that. And at the time, I was working full-time at Fort Carson MWR in their marketing department, which was thrilling. I loved it. We got to do really cool things like go to Overdrive Raceway and ride in a Lamborghini just for the sake of their Facebook page, which is, I mean, like, who gets to do that? But yeah, I was kind of getting burnt out with, working a full-time job and running a business. And so I had to make a decision after like so many weeks of 60 plus hours. And I thought like, yeah, it's tiring. And I thought my heart is in my business. So I left in April of last year to go full-time in my business now. So
awesome.
Yeah.
So what skills do you think you learned as a military spouse that helped you to be successful in business?
Resiliency.
Resiliency. Yeah.
Definitely. Like I said, just, don't give up. There's always another, it's really easy to be flustered. But there's always another opportunity somewhere. Or kind of maybe think outside the box if your skills align with, I'm in graphic design. My skills always align in marketing. I always found a job in marketing. So maybe there's something similar to your industry. But it doesn't need to be that exactly. You could find something you like, or you could start your own business and do whatever you love. So,
So what advice would you have for military spouses out there that are serving right now alongside their husband or their wife? Because it could be a guy that's the spouse. Because of course I was a veteran, so my husband was the spouse. So what advice would you have for them in careers or looking at owning your own business?
Yeah, that's a really good question too. I just think you should use your experience as an asset. There's a lot that military spouses or dependents, I don't know. We have a really good community. I don't know. There's a lot of assets that we can bring to the table, things like resiliency or critical thinking. We have to use all these skills all the time. And I think if you explain that to an employer that you can bring that into the workplace. I once had a conversation with a lady in Hawaii, and she was also a military spouse. And it was like pre-interview. She was in the HR department, and it kind of stuck in my head because I felt almost apologetic. I was like, hey, I mean, I really want this job, but I'm only going to be here for 3 years. And she was like, no. That's the wrong approach. Yeah. Like, I've been there before, and what you should be saying is, I have 3 years, but I'm going to work harder and be the best employee you've ever had. So, don't even think twice about hiring me. So I thought that's incredibly powerful. And maybe I should not have this apologetic approach. Maybe I should polish and, bring to the table all my assets that would shine. So.
Instead of focusing on the negative or the downfalls, focus on the positives.
Absolutely.
Awesome. And then I was talking to her last week, and I learned that she likes to hire just veterans if possible. And she is looking for a few people for her team, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I partnered with the wonderful people at the Pikes Peak Workforce Center, and they have an adult internship program. It is paid. And I am looking for a summer intern. And so I currently work with a combat vet. He's been fantastic, and I really like to hire within the military community. I know there are a lot of students like UCCS and Pikes Peak Community College that are going to school for graphic design. So, and a lot of them are part of the military community. So spouses, veterans,
children.
Yeah, dependents.
Yeah, dependents.
I just, I love our community, and I would love to continue to work with them.
Awesome. Well, if you need any graphic design work, it doesn't matter whether you're here in Colorado Springs or anywhere around the world, because she can work with you and Skype with you or Zoom with you and be able to do your graphics for you. So if you have any need for that, please reach out and comment below and start a chat with her, and she'd be glad to help you out. So with that, thank you so much for being on my show today, and we will see you all next Monday on Military Mondays. Bye, everyone.
Bye.